As 1993 began, Celine sang The Power of Love for President Clinton at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and The Power of Love was what drove the Dion-Angelo duo. In November, upon the release of the album The Color of My Love, Celine revealed to her audience that she was in love with Renee. The single The Power of Love remained at #1 on the Billboard charts for 4 weeks. In England, both the single Think Twice and the album held the #1 spot on the hit parade for 5 weeks, equaling a record held by the Beatles. The Color of My Love was certified as a diamond album in Canada for racking up sales of over 1 million copies. On December 17, 1994, Celine married the love of her life, Renee Angelo, in Notre Dame Basilica in Montreal. It was a wedding fit for a princess, as spectacular as it was sincere. The legend rolled on, so did the honeymoon with her audience. In 1995, Celine Dion teamed up with singer-songwriter Jean-Jacques Goldman to create one of the great masterpieces of francophone music, the album Do. It would go on to become the biggest-selling French album in history, selling 10 million copies around the world, with a series of classics forever etched in our memories, Pour2 même encore, Je sais pas, Les derniers seront les premiers. Do also included the moving song Vol, dedicated to the memory of Corinne, Celine's niece, who died at the age of 16 after a long struggle with cystic fibrosis. In February 1996, Celine triumphed at the Victoires de la Musique, the French version of the Grammy Awards, winning the Victoires Awards for Song of the Year, Pour2 même encore, and Female Vocalist of the Year. In March of the same year, Celine launched the album Falling Into You. It would go on to become the biggest-selling album of 1996 worldwide. Hitting #1 in 11 countries, the album went on to win 2 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. Falling Into You has sold over 30 million copies. On July 19, 1996, for a TV audience of 3.5 billion viewers, Celine Dion sang The Power of the Dream during the opening ceremonies of the Atlanta Olympic Games. It was the ultimate triumph. She was now the most famous singer on the planet. In March 1997, Celine Dion became the first artist to perform 2 songs during the Oscars. She sang her own hit Because You Loved Me, theme song from the film Up Close and Personal, and replaced an ailing Natalie Cole at a moment's notice, performing I Finally Found Someone, the theme song from the film The Mirror Has Two Faces. The woman has nerves of steel. In November 1997, Celine released her 18th album, Let's Talk About Love, featuring collaborations with Luciano Pavarotti, Barbra Streisand, the Bee Gees, Carole King and Sir George Martin. What a constellation of stars! Let's Talk About Love also included the momentous single My Heart Will Go On, theme song from the megaproduction Titanic. The song would become the jewel of Celine's repertoire. She performed it majestically during the 70th Academy Awards. My Heart Will Go On won the Oscar for Best Original Song. The original soundtrack to Titanic became the best-selling soundtrack in history, selling 30 million copies, equaling the sales of the album Let's Talk About Love, which also included the hymn to Jack and Rose's love affair. A Titanic feat. In February 1998, Celine launched the album S'il suffisait d'aimer, created with her close collaborator Jean-Jacques Goldman. The title song became an instant classic in the francophone repertoire. Just before the end of the year festivities, she offered her fans a gift, the album These Are Special Times. The same year witnessed the publication of her first official biography, written by George Bergermain. The Let's Talk About Love World Tour was a massive triumph, culminating in 2 evenings at Stade de France, Paris, attended by 180,000. Renee, now battling cancer, missed the events. Celine paid tribute to him during the show, receiving a standing ovation. Renee beat the disease and was on stage at the Centre Molson in Montreal on December 31, 1999 to kiss his sweetheart in the last seconds of the millennium. The extraordinary concert was the last before Celine took a well-deserved rest.